Hello, my name is Alexis Crook. I am a customer success manager here at ProSymmetry. Today, I'm going to be walking through the Bulk Project Allocation Flatgrid options. So within the Flatgrid, there are some options to further analyze the data that you have pulled into your view. And I'm going to walk through a few of those today. So just as a brief overview, in Tempus, you can do things like overlay heat maps, you can show totals, show unallocated percentage, show your net availability for your resources. You can filter on the types of resource requests that you are seeing, and a few more options that I will get into in just a second. All right, so right now I am within, first of all, version 8.1, and I am within the tile Bulk Project Allocation Flatgrid. So within my Flatgrid, I have a few things already pre-set up. I've got my dates set up. I believe I did for the next 6 months. And I've got a few different resources pulled into my view. I'm in the resource mode, which is pulling in all of the projects that my resources are assigned to. There's going to be another video that goes more in depth on how to make these assignments. But for today, we're just going to stick to this little options button here. So clicking into here, the first option that you have is to overlay a heat map. So there's a few different heat maps that you can choose from. The first one is a resource heat map. So within here, you can see that's already pulled into my screen here. I can click into my resources as well and see those different assignments, and those heat maps will expand as well. These heat maps are determined within your environment, so you can set up the different colors that you would like and what kind of thresholds you want these heat map colors to be based off of. But just for your reference, there is a little icon here. And if I click on that, this is going to show me the resource heat map that is set up within my environment. So you can see here that 105+% allocated is going to give me this red color, which I'm seeing for all of my resources in my demo environment here. So that's my first option for a heat map. My second option is a resource request heat map. So what this is going to do is pull in different colors based on resource request statuses. So let me go ahead and expand all of my resources here. So you can see I've got a few different colors pulling in. I've got a blue color here. I've got a green color as well. And again, I would advise that you reference this little icon here. This is also going to show you the resource request heat map. So you can see blue is for pending requests, green is for approved, and so on. So if you are using the resource request functionality, this is a great heat map to pull into your Flatgrid. The last option for heat maps is for non-zero. So what this is going to do is highlight any non-zero allocation in a blue color. So I'm going to click out of here, and you can see here, it looks like most of my resources are assigned hours within this time frame, so they are showing up as blue. If you had any zeros, they would not be showing up in blue, obviously. So that is it for heat maps. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off, and I am going to just go ahead and regroup by resource name just to make this view a little bit cleaner for now. The second option within here is to hide the tasks. So if you find that within your environment, you're not really using tasks and you don't want to see that within your view, you have the ability to hide those tasks. So actually, let me go ahead and turn that off for now. And I'm going to show you right here, we've got our task name. I'll go ahead and expand Bobby again. So I've got my resource name, my project name, and my task name here. If I turn on hide task, you can see that all I have now is my resource name and my project name. That task name column has gone away. So again, if you're not using tasks, that might be beneficial for you to turn that off. The next thing I'm going to show is show total row. So you can see up here at the top, we've now got totals. So this is showing for all of the resources that I have pulled in, what is their total allocation? And you can toggle between time, cost, FTE, and so forth. If you choose to work in FTEs, it's also going to show the total up here in that time frame. The next one we've got here is show total demand planning. So if I turn that on, what this is going to do is pull in that total amount of allocations for your demand planning resources. So in this case, I've chosen to only pull in one demand planning resource into my view just for simplicity. But I've got account manager here. You can see their total for this week is 12.55 hours. And in this case, this is showing me my total for demand planning resources is this amount. If you have more demand planning resources pulled into this view, it will add all of those up. Next option we have is show named total. So this is going to be the opposite of that show demand planning total. This is going to show me the total for all of my named resources, again, that I have pulled into this view. So I've got Bobby, I've got Audrey, and I've got Sue. This is going to be adding up their total allocations. And this, I have it grouped by week, so this is going to be at the weekly view. You can also choose to pull these in together if you find that helpful. So you can see your total named resource and you can see your total demand planning resources. All right, I'm going to toggle those off. So the next option that you have here is to show your unallocated percentage. So this is going to give you the percentage of total demand planning resources, their total allocations, divided by the overall total of allocations, and that's going to give you a percentage. So you can see here, I've got 11% of my allocations are allocated to demand planning resources. Something else to point out here, there's little question marks that you can hover over, and that will give you a brief description of what what toggling that on means. The next thing I'm going to toggle on is show selection calculations. So this is a pretty cool feature, and I am going to go ahead and expand Bobby again. So what this is going to do is I have the ability to highlight a few cells, and you can see over here in the top right-hand corner of my screen, I have a few numbers that are coming up. I've got average, sum, min, max, and count. So based on the cells that I choose to highlight, you can see those numbers in the top right-hand corner are adjusting. And you can do it across multiple resources as well if I want to see, maybe the sum of all of these or the min, so forth. So if you have the show selection calculations turned on, that little blue banner up here will appear. Next thing I'm going to show is net availability and allocation percentage. So something to point out here, you will only see these two options if you have your data grouped by resource. So right now I have gone into the group by area and I have chosen to group by resource name. That's why this information is rolling up to the resource level. And when you have it rolled up to the resource level, you will now see these two options, again, show net availability and allocation percentage. So your net availability is going to be your resources net capacity minus their allocations. So I'm going to go ahead and expand Bobby here. And you can see my net availability for Bobby is now being pulled in. It looks like he is a bit over allocated for these weeks. I can do the same for account manager and Audrey. It's just pulling in this row here to show you their net availability. I am also going to pull in the allocation percentage here. If you want to see these in the same view, you can. So this is showing me the percentage that Bobby is allocated. So in this case, you can see by his net availability, he is a little bit over allocated and he is 110% allocated. Again, that is based on their net capacity and their allocations. All right, moving right along. The next option you have here is tasks to show. So you have the ability to pull in all tasks. You have the ability to pull in just your generic tasks or just your non-generic tasks. So this really depends on how you're using tasks within the system. In this case, I have chosen now, I only want to see generic tasks. So this has dwindled my list down to show me my resources on the projects that are only assigned to that generic task. And if we select non-generic, this is going to show us my resources on projects that are on my custom tasks. So those generic tasks are no longer included in this view. And again, you can also choose to see all of them if you would like. All right, let me collapse these again for a simplistic view. Next option here, we've got week display format. So right now you can see I am grouped at the weekly level and I've got this kind of view of my weeks. So there's a few options here. You can choose to do it by number. So in this case, I've got 2023 and what is the weekly number of this particular week? I've got that I can see the start date of that week if you would like, as well as the end date of that week. So it really depends on how you want to view this information at the weekly level, whichever serves you best. All right, the last option here is to filter by resource request status. So in this case, if you maybe only want to see what requests are pending, might be easier here. Let me toggle this off and I'm going to go ahead and ungroup. All right, so let's do that again. I only want to see my pending requests. You can see here that pulled in this specific assignment, which looks like it's still pending. Next, maybe I want to only see my approved. So that has pulled in those assignments that have only been approved and so forth. So if you just want to filter this list down by a specific resource request type, you can do so. Those are all of the options currently within the Flatgrid. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out. And that is it. Thank you. Have a good day.